Well, hey, how's everybody doing? You guys, good afternoon. I have a icy snow day today at my job, so they sent us home in Texas. Here we are on the 9th, January 9th, 2025, a Thursday, and it's icing and snowing in Texas, so I'm not working. And I thought this would be a good time to ask a question. I've recently purchased a PL 880 and a Grundig Satellite 800 Millennium. Now, this is a serious piece of kit for a shortwave listener, but you guys, I got it for $200 from a local Facebook seller. I was blessed. I got it with my Christmas money, and I bought this one just a few weeks ago, and it's actually still my favorite, the PL 880. It came in this nice little fake leather carrying case, but this is a really nice little radio, and it just has metal knobs. It has metal, like the switches, everything's metal. It has the new USB-C. So the newer PL880s come with a Type-C charging port, and they're nice. So, and I tell you what, the speaker on this PL880 is nice. I've watched a lot of posts where even the newer 990, which is really what I wanted, apparently the 880 is a better speaker. I'm not sure. I haven't owned both, but I've seen videos. Now this Grundig, I never thought I would get one quite like this because this is 20 years old. Actually 25 years old. It was Millennium, year 2000. But this has airband, AM, FM, and shortwave. And you guys, this thing works really nice. But as you can see, the battery is flashing. And that's because this radio, I don't know if y'all can see, I have 6 D-sized batteries back here from the dollar store that cost me $2.50 buying them at a Dollar Tree. I have Energizer Max in there right now, but after 4 hours, that battery light is flashing. And I'll just say this, it eats batteries. I don't know how long these Energizer Max are going to last, but if $14 of batteries are only going to power this radio for 5 hours, or, we'll see. The light's flashing. It wasn't doing that until about the 3rd hour. But 3 hours, and keep in mind, this little volume button, I've never really been up to I'm at the 2 or 3. These are metal knobs, by the way. Even the power button's metal. Real nice. The radio's a thick, plastic, solid-bodied radio. They just don't make stuff like this anymore, and that's kind of why I searched it out. My other candidate was the Tecsun S2200, but it's not near as big as this, and because this popped up and it was a good price, I paid a man $200 locally for this, and it was in like new shape. So now here's my problem. I'm new to shortwave. I did build the magnetic loop here. I have a ML30 Plus magnetic loop. Unfortunately, I think I bought the one from AliExpress because it has a blue light, but it still works really well. I might get the green light version later. But with this antenna, which let me show y'all how this antenna looks real quick. It's a big magnetic loop. So with that antenna, I am able, let me adjust this here. Okay, there we go. So with that antenna, I'm able to get multiple stations. At my dad's house, actually, he lives more in a suburb of Dallas. I was able to get about 58 stations in his backyard, just putting it on a table. In my apartment here in the city of Dallas, I'm able to get maybe 28, and if I put it outside, maybe 30. Sorry about that. So the question is, I didn't get the power adapter for this radio. And the problem is this. This requires a 3-prong a power adapter. Apparently, according to a forum, a guy said that the ground wire on the plug helped ground the radio if you're listening to shortwave or something. I don't know if this is true. So if I do buy a universal adapter, because if you look on the back of this radio, I don't know if y'all can see, there's 3 ports on the back of this radio, 4 actually. We have a speaker out, then we have the 9-volt DC, and then we have line out to go to a stereo receiver. So 9-volt DC. Now, it needs 1 amp, apparently, 9 volts, and it needs an amp. You can get universal adapters that say they'll go from 1 amp to 4 amp, you know, whatever your device needs. So I ordered a couple, and they're in the mail right now. And my question is, one of them, you know, it does have a 3-prong plug, but it's going to like, it almost looks like a laptop charger, and then it goes to the radio. If somebody owns this radio and they know, does it truly ground itself through the power wire? That's my thing. And apparently finding a plug for this is going to be quite the challenge. And I don't want to keep using dollar store batteries, as you see here on top of that Bible. So I'm just, if you know anything about this radio and the power cord, the proper power cord to make this work, and in truth, does it ground itself through the ground wire on the plug, or is that just some kind of superstition? So that's what I'm looking at. The other question that I have, this MLA 30 Plus, if I plug this into a power bank, I'm gonna get a, let me see if I have one here. Oh, I placed it somewhere. If I plug it into a power bank, it comes on and it works well, but I get a blue light. And if you can see the end, how it looks there, the satellite dish, it's a little bit different. Let me move it closer. Let me try to get my camera to focus real quick. Let me move it up. Okay, that's a manual focus. I'm trying, you guys. Okay, so there we go. You see the satellite dish? This is the AliExpress version. Now, I will say this. They made it quite nice. And what I mean by that, the cables are high quality. Even the little, I was able to get the 3.5 millimeter jack that came with it. So it works perfect with the Tecsun PL880. But one YouTuber said the one with the green light gives a better signal than the one with the blue light. So that's my dilemma. If that's true, I need to order the other one if it's worthwhile for me to do so. I only paid 27 bucks for this, and I pulled some lumber off my dad's lumber pile and an old piece of PVC. I mean, it cost me $27 to make this antenna, which for me was a lot better than a 25-foot long wire hanging out an apartment window in the city of Dallas. So you guys, if you know anything, I would appreciate it. I have questions on it's called like a union or a bullum or something like that. There are these two little devices where a wire wraps around a magnet, and it's something to do with the ohms or going through coax cable. I'm not a ham guy. I don't know a lot about radio, but do I need a union or a bullum or something like that for listening to shortwave from 0.5 megahertz to 30 megahertz or 30,000 kilohertz? You know, 1,700 kilohertz to 30,000 kilohertz, or 0.5 megahertz to 30 megahertz. 1,000 kilohertz is a megahertz. Anyways, that's just the frequency. This thing's pretty cool. It has a little world on top and it describes everything. And the antenna here, oh my gosh, this antenna, it's almost like Looney Tunes. I mean, it comes out 59 inches. And then the whole antenna will telescope into the device. It's just cool. You actually can get quite a few shortwave stations just with this antenna, and they come in clear, especially if you're on a high point late at night. So I'll say that about it. The only feature that I don't like about this unit, it doesn't do a scan. I can't put it to shortwave and just hold a button and let it scan all the stations and find the stations that come in. Now the Tecsun, if I turn this one on and I plug it in, I can just hold one of these buttons and it'll scan the entire shortwave range, and then I'll have 30 or 40 presets that came in and I can flip through them. So I can hit scan, walk away, do something else, come back and see what's on. Now I'm not saying that's going to find every channel, but it's a nice feature. And I don't believe the Grundig does that. Now, the only other thing, the bandwidth, I have 2.3, 4, and 6. And on this Tecsun right here, if I go to shortwave, let me turn the volume down. On my bandwidth, I have 5 kilohertz, 3.5, 2.3, 3.5, 5, and 9. So I kind of like the range of kilohertz on this Tecsun, and I can tell you the build quality of this unit is just as high as this one. Just as high. They did a really good job on a compact radio. This is worth every bit of $100 easy. I would even say the $170 asking price. If you could only have one radio, as long as you get the newer version with the Type C, I would jump on this. If you wanted a good radio for an emergency, for shortwave listening. But I'm still learning about this radio, but I'm very impressed with it. It'll get every station this one will, possibly more. I don't know. Time will tell, and I'll update y'all. I did buy this AN100 magnetic loop. Now, this is like the AN200. It's supposed to be the same thing. It's the earlier model. It had a better bass. So if you set it down, this is supposed to, just being next to the radio, it's supposed to help you with AM stations. I haven't noticed a huge difference, but it definitely does make a difference with this 880. If you set it like this, you can tune an AM station. So I have to get out in the boonies or something and try it. I have such a strong signal here in the Dallas area. I don't notice much of a difference there, but I primarily listen to AM or I'll listen to. Or I'll listen to this station here, Classical 101.1 here in Dallas. So, and the speaker on this Grundig. Okay, they're doing that high church music right now, but very, very beautiful, very beautiful, very high quality sound. And I did find a post where you can replace the speaker that came in this with a newer speaker for like $30. And I would be easily able to do that. I have a little soldering, iron and stuff like that. So I might replace the speaker in the future. Apparently you'll get a lot. This is a good speaker, but if you're an enthusiast, I just like tinkering sometimes. But you guys, if you know anything about this radio, if you know anything about the proper power cord, if you have experience and aren't just theory crafting, I'm looking for the proper power cord or how to obtain the cord that, if what I read is true, that will ground the radio through the power cord. I read that somewhere. The third prong, it's not just a ground wire. The radio uses it as a ground for signal clarity. If that's true, I need to find it. So, because most of the universal power adapters that are 9 volt, 2 or 3 amps, they're only positive and negative. They don't have that lower ground wire. I found one that had it, but it's an adjustable one that, you could go from 3 volts to 20 volts and it'll give you up to 4 amps. So, and if I get that, I'll just turn it to 9 volts and then I'll put a drop of epoxy on it so the knob won't move anymore unless I flick it off with a knife, and then I'll have it like that. If that works, that works. But I don't know if that's going to actually ground it, because that's the question. That little port on the back that I showed y'all, that little port right there, does that carry a ground, or is that just positive and negative? I'm not an electrician, so somebody out there knows the answer to this. The only other thing I'll show y'all before I end this video, this is the other cables on the back of this guy. I don't know if y'all can see here. This is what it's working with. Let me try to clear up my camera here with a proper focus. I'm doing this manual, so somewhere right here. I don't know. Y'all really can't read that, so let me just back it back up and I'll read it to you. It has a shortwave antenna that's the whip, which is this guy, and then it has 50 ohm and 500 ohm, and there's a 3-way switch where you go whip, 50 ohm or 500. Then it has your FM and your air, which it has another. You can use the whip, this antenna, or a 75 ohm, which is this piece right here. Has a little, looks like a TV, that little cable on the back of a TV, 75 ohm FM and air. Then it has a little, looks like a stereo antenna for shortwave that's 500 ohm. And then it has the actual antenna cable, which is this one right here, which is 50 ohm. And that's shortwave, long wave, or AM. Both of these are shortwave, long wave, and AM. So I'm learning this radio. Any tips or somebody that knows, I appreciate the advice. Really, I'm just trying to get the right power cord. Y'all be blessed. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, y'all have a great day.